Hello, and thank you for tuning into this episode of Animals and Ames. My name is Ron Edwards. I'm the Animal Control Supervisor here for the Ames Animal Shelter and Animal Control Program. Our guest host today is Abby Wyman. She's our Adoption Coordinator Extraordinaire. So she's going to show you some adoptable pets that we have here, looking for their forever homes. So if you're interested in any of these guys, make sure you check out our website. All the information is on there. That's amesanimalshelter.org. Tells you that adoption process and how we work here. So let's check out some animals with Abby.
Okay, my first guest today is Miss Kora. Kora is a Siberian Husky. She is about 3.5 years old. Kora came to us from a neglect situation. She sings the song of her people. She came to us originally as a puppy. We've had her several times in as a stray. So we've known Kora basically her entire life. But recently, I think things got really off the rails for the owner, and they were not taking very good care of Kora or the other companion dog she had in the home, a Great Pyrenees puppy. Kora had a lot of hair loss from a flea infestation that hadn't been treated. I know. Really bad skin infection, low weight, not in the condition we'd want to see a beautiful dog like this with fur that should be nice and thick. Yes, stay still. Very typical of Huskies. They are very, very, very talkative like this, very high energy. We're asking a lot of her to sit still and put her best face on camera. Come here. She's a very curious girl, that's for sure. So Kora has received all the treatment she needs. She's still clearing up her skin infection. Come here, baby. That's a good girl. Her skin infection is still clearing up, but Ames Pet Resort very generously donated a bath for her. They did a full medicated bath with some different treatments inside the shampoo. Oh, I'm sorry. That helped her with her skin infection, so she's recovering beautifully. Still on a little bit of medication. Unfortunately, when she's not on camera or with a person watching her, she does have to have a cone on because these spots are really itchy for her. So, but she's well on the mend, looking for a home. She's very, very well behaved, honestly. She's a little anxious being on camera, but she can hear all the people outside our room too. But she's a very, very good girl. If you're familiar with the Husky breed, they are high energy. They're strong-willed and stubborn. But she is, calm down. There we go. Thank you. She's a very, very good girl. Huskies aren't generally recommended for apartments because of how talkative they are. But if they get lots and lots of exercise, they do really well. So if you're interested in Kora, we're looking for a great home for her who's not going to let her get into the condition her previous owner let her get into. If you want to apply for her, just go to our website, amesanimalshelter.org, and click on the button that says Adopt. All right, my next guest today is Pang. Pang came to us as a stray. He is about 3 years old, is our guest. And the reason I want to put Pang on the show is because Pang is one of our special needs kitties. When Pang came to us, he got neutered right away. And when he was getting neutered, the vet noticed that he was partially blocked. So that means that there was something in his urethra, biological stuff, that is blocking the ability for pee to flow out efficiently. So they unblocked him, but it kind of led us down this trail to realize that Pang, which we'd already kind of noticed, he didn't have any control over his tail. If you mess with his tail, it just kind of flops. And so that's a sign of he's had either was born with or sustained some kind of neurological damage to his tail area. Sometimes it happens if someone grabs the tail and pulls on it. Sometimes it can happen with just an injury. And like I said, he could have been born that way. But what happens when there's nerve damage down there is that the bladder cannot, and all the components that allow him to pee do not appropriately work. There's just nerve damage. So in Pang's case, they can't relax well on their own. So what we were able to do is get Pang with a veterinarian's help on some medication that helps his bladder to relax. And now Pang can use the litter box normally. So Pang needs medication twice a day. The good news is on this medication, Pang does not need to have his bladder expressed. Some kitties need to have someone hold their bladder and help express it for them. Pang does not need that when he's on this medication, which is perfect. So Pang has special needs just because he's going to need medication twice a day and he's going to need it for the rest of his life. So while he takes pills like the best any cat we've ever had taken them, which is a great point in his favor because he's going to need those his entire life. But that is definitely a commitment. You know, if you go out of town, you have to find someone who will watch him and give him those pills for you twice a day. So that tends to be more of the hang up for most people than anything. The medication is not a terribly expensive medication at all. If you have any experience with cats who needed regular medications, I know a lot of people have been through it once, they don't want to do it again, but Pang would really appreciate you opening your heart and your home to him. He could not be any nicer of a cat, as you can see. He's just all about the scratches, the pets. He's purring. He is just so sweet. He is worth every bit of effort you'd have to put in to get him that medication, which, like I said, is not that much effort. He's a really good boy about it. Pang does seem like he does well with other cats. He does not seem to be upset when he sees other kitties here. We haven't dog tested him, but if someone had a dog, we would definitely dog test him before he went home. He does well with kids. He has no preference on men versus women. Just really overall, I think if he didn't have this medical issue, he'd already be gone by now. Just highly adoptable in every way other than needing that medication twice a day. So if you're interested in our Pang boy, just fill out an application on our website. All right, and my next kitty guest is Davey. Davey is another stray. He came to us as about 1.5 years old, our vet tech thinks. Very, very sweet guy. He's a little shy. I don't think he's had a whole lot of experiences outside of wherever he was living before, but he really does like attention. If anyone's been paying attention over the years, I'm a huge softie for these tuxedo cats. The black and white cats are my jam. So of course Davey had to be one of the guests on our show. He does seem to do well with other cats. I would say with kids, I probably recommend like preteens, teenagers. I think the little people are going to be a little too scary for him initially as he's adjusting to the home. Not that he couldn't live with maybe like a young person who wants kids down the road, but I think just initially while he's setting up in the home, all the hubbub of younger kids might be a little much for our sweet guy. But as you can see, as soon as you start petting him, he is just a doll. Just like Pang, we've not tested him with dogs, but if someone applied for him and had a dog, we would bring in one of our cat-friendly dogs to meet him to see how it goes before we send him home. So Pang is very, very sweet. You can see he really loves those butt scratches. So I really think in a home that's quiet initially while he's getting adjusted would be the best match for him. And he really does love that attention. Like I said, he's a little nervous when you first reach in to pet him in the cage, but then once you get to touching him, he's just all about it. And don't mind the fur. This is very typical this time of year for the cats to be shedding. It happens when they're nervous, but it's also this time of the year they just shed. So it seems like everyone's shedding right now is what our kennel attendant was saying when I walked in covered with hair from Pang. So don't be thrown off by that. That's very typical this time of year and not exclusive to Pang or Davey. So just like Pang, Davey is available for adoption through our website. Applications can take 24 to 72 hours to process, but if you can get that in and get it submitted, we would be very happy to send Davey home with you. All right, and my very last guests today are 3 very cute guinea pigs. These guinea pigs came from a laboratory that was doing testing. I'm not entirely sure what for, but these guinea pigs were from the control group, so they were able to be adopted out. So the lab reached out to us and asked us if they'd be able to place them with us, which of course we said yes. Because they were in a laboratory setting, they weren't receiving a whole lot of human contact. And when they did, unfortunately, it was to get poked and prodded. So while they are not aggressive by any means. I wouldn't say they probably would be the best guinea pigs to select to have with small children because they have not been handled a whole lot. So if you're looking for guinea pigs for a small child that wants guinea pigs to pick up and snuggle and love on, these might not be the guinea pigs for them. However, if you're used to having guinea pigs, or if you want to get into having guinea pigs, these guys are great. They do need to be adopted out as a trio. Guinea pigs are very social, form really tight bonds with each other. And so we would like them to go as a trio together. They're 7 months old. And they do need a nice big enclosure because there's 3 of them. They need lots of room to run. So you can find all kinds of, people make really cool guinea pig habitats using materials you would normally think you could use to make guinea pig habitats. But you can find really great tutorials online. So if you're interested in our guinea pigs, we have an application online for them as well.
Well, that's our show for today. I want to thank everybody for watching and thank Abby for showing all of our adoptable animals that we have here at the Ames Animal Shelter. Make sure you check out our website at amesanimalshelter.org, and you'll be able to see other pets that we have available for adoption in addition to those that you've seen here on the show today. Thank you for watching.